All right, thank you guys. And we are back here with Robin, but this time he's in the middle of both myself, Alex, and Shay. But it's great to also have you back again, Robin. Of course, I'd love to introduce you once again as our previous world champion in the Pokemon TCG. It was, if you remind me, 2018?
Yeah, in 2018.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about that experience because it's such a privilege to have a world champion alongside us right now. Talk us through a little bit just about that whole experience as a whole, just to give us a bit of insight into being a world champion.
The whole season, like in 2018, was crazy. It was a very memorable season. Played in all the internationals and played Zorak for most of them. Which Zorak, of course, was the card I won the World Championship with. So I played it for a while at that point. And before Worlds, we did a training camp in Norway, actually, with Tord and Philip and like Pedro and other friends, of course. And we've been testing all day for over 2 weeks. It was probably the most I've tested in my life. And it was, of course, I didn't expect to win still, even though we were very well prepared. And yeah, then it was crazy to actually in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible testing group and a group of friends to get together. I mean, we've touched on it before about how you prepare for tournaments with someone like your brother as well, but to include someone like Tord Recklef, Pedro and probably Fabian and all these other players that you're great friends with, and then going into that tournament all together as well prepared as possible. Because you have had, of course, during that whole season, other good fantastic results as well. Were there any standout ones in that season or even more recent years that spring to mind?
Well, in recent years, my most standout experience at a tournament was, I think, definitely Liverpool Regionals, the first tournament back after COVID, where I played the Urshifu deck with Inteleon. Like, ever since regionals, like the big regionals started, basically my goal was to win a regional championship. It wasn't even like to win Worlds, so I wanted to win a regional championship. And up to that point, I didn't ever manage to do that. And then this was the first tournament back. Of course, everyone was super excited. And also, which made it even memorable, is the deck I played, which was, at that point, Urshifu wasn't really a thing anymore. And people didn't really play the Inteleon engine the same way that then our group came up with. A lot of one-off supporters, and basically the engine was really different than people were playing back then. And the approach of countering Mew by playing this Moltres in a deck where you wouldn't really expect the Moltres usually, and yeah, I think like the whole tournament was that was an awesome experience, and yeah, that's definitely one tournament I look back very fondly.
Yeah, that's amazing, and Shay would have plenty to talk about with regards to Mew as well, considering that's his little pet deck at the same time.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued to know with the Urshifu for Liverpool, did you put as much practice into that as you would, like, because you said for your World Championship when you had that big, testing group, you had the big boot camp, and obviously you did really well then, and in Liverpool you did really well as well. Would you say you tested as much for Liverpool as for Worlds, or?
Definitely not. For Liverpool, most of the work on the deck was done by Tord and Pedro, and I wasn't very involved in that. I basically picked it up a week before, which, it was. I still got some experience with the deck, but it was not comparable with the amount of testing we usually do before Worlds.
Okay, fair enough. And one other question I got for you, Rob, is that obviously you are a world champion, like we know this. Do you ever feel like you have any extra pressure when you walk into the room?
Kind of, a little bit maybe, but I personally, I don't really care too much about that. See, for me, like, I walk into a tournament, maybe like people expect me to do well, but if I don't do well, it happens. I don't really mind that too much.
No, it just shows that nothing has really changed despite being a world champion as well. You can go into tournaments still with the same sort of preparation. But thank you for that, Robin. We'll go straight back to the casters, back to the live event, and we'll see you shortly.